Hi everybody and welcome back to This Week in Magic Online Finance. I'm your host Chaz Andres, and as always, let's start with the news. And of course, it was yet another slow week in Magic Finance because it was Thanksgiving. People were too busy eating turkey and hanging out with their family and getting those sweet Black Friday deals to pay much attention to their Magic Online collections. The people that were playing were mostly drafting Iconic Masters. And I get it, it's a really cool set. If you have the chance to draft it in paper, you should do so. But online, even with the play point discounts, it is not a good deal. The expected value of a pack in that set is just so much lower than the MSRP, you're losing money even if you open some of the most valuable cards in the set. So unless you're okay sort of throwing some money out the window while you play, don't do it. Now the biggest community news of the week, of course, was that beloved cosplayer Christine Sprankle has decided to step away from the community in the wake of targeted harassment from YouTuber Jeremy of MTG headquarters and his scumbag followers. And as a fellow Magic the Gathering content creator and YouTuber, I feel the need to step up and say that we all need to do a better job of speaking out against harassment, and that includes harassment on Magic Online. Now, you've all gotten those slurs and threats and other horrible language thrown at us on Magic Online. And if you're anything like me, you've probably just moved on to the next game and forgotten about it, or at least tried to. But here's the thing, MTGO has a code of conduct. Wizards of the Coast has an email address where they want you to send them screenshots of that behavior so they can do something about it. And we all need to do a better job of reporting these people even when we don't personally feel threatened. And that's key. It's like garbage by the side of the road. We all have to make an effort to clean it up. We can't just put it on the shoulders of the victims. So figure out where your screenshot button is, figure out what that email address is, save it in your email, and get used to reporting these people so that we can end the toxic culture of harassment in all parts of the Magic community. Alright, let's move back to finance, where in Standard, the cards that gained the most ground this week were Fumigate and Torrential Gearhulk. Fumigate gained 2 tickets from 3 up to about 5, and Torrential Gearhulk also gained about 2 tickets from 14 up to 16. Now this is a result of blue-white control gaining a little bit more ground in the Standard metagame. That said, it's still at least a second-tier deck, if not a third-tier deck, depending on whether you think Temur Energy is the clear top tier by itself, or whether you'd stick Ramunap Red in the same tier with it. Regardless, it's nice to see more people playing with Approach of the Second Sun, but I'm not buying any of these cards right now. I think overall, the Standard market is going to drop a little bit more before the end of the year. It's just not time to buy yet. Over in Modern, Mox Opal continued to gain ground this week, jumping 5 tickets from 60 up to 65. And that means it's finally regained all the ground it lost back in September when people sold their Modern staples in order to buy into Ixalan cards. Anyway, there are 2 Mox Opal decks among Modern's top tier, Lantern Control and of course Affinity. And with Iconic Masters putting a little bit more of a spotlight on that Modern format, making things a little more affordable, it's not surprising to me that Mox Opal has continued to gain value. Let's move on to our losers, where the Scarab God was a repeat offender this week. In fact, it lost more than 3 times as much value as the next biggest Standard loser. It dropped 6 tickets from 38 down to 32, and the reality is it actually fell a bit further than that. It dropped as low as 28 tickets late last week before rallying a bit to end the weekend. Now that late drop in rebound tells me that 30 tickets might make kind of a soft floor for this card's price over the short term. It still does see a lot of play in Standard, and I expect that to continue well through next year. So I'd at least start to think about buying back in, but I'm probably going to wait and see what happens next week before I make a definitive call on that one. Now over in Modern, Iconic Masters continues to make its presence felt. The Horizon Canopy, the set's marquee card, dropped 7 tickets this week from 28 down to 21. This is a card that was as high as 60 tickets over the summer, and in fact was at one point the most expensive card in the entire Modern format. It's never going to hit those highs again. Those were based on an incredibly limited supply, but that doesn't mean the card is going to zero. It sees a lot of play in Counters Company, and Humans, and a couple of other key decks. And at this point, it's time to finally start thinking about buying back in. I wouldn't do it right now, but a week or 2 from now, check back in and maybe make that purchase. Alright, now this week's sneak is True Name Nemesis, and there just aren't a lot of copies of this card out there on Magic Online. You could only open these up in cube prize packs or in treasure chests, and it was as high as 75 tickets over the summer, before dropping down to about 25 in October. Well, the card is over 50 again now, it's still climbing, and you need these for a ton of legacy decks, including pretty well all the Delver and Stoneblade and Deathblade builds. I think you're going to have a chance to sell this thing for a profit before it ends up reprinted in another set, or they up the treasure chest drop rate at some point in the future. It's a decent buy, even though it is at 50 and climbing. Now I finish off each week by taking a look at the MTGO Traders hot list. These are cards that MTGO Traders is paying a little bit extra on because they're hot right now, and you can find the list yourself at mtgotraders.com/hotlist or online at hotlistbot and hotlistbot2. Now select Commander 2017 cards have come to Magic Online treasure chests, and some of them are now on the hot list. Edgar Markov appears to be the hottest of them all so far, and MTGO Traders is paying more than 33 tickets for your copy. Kess Dissident Mage is at 6.5, and there's a few hovering around the 4-ticket mark, including the Dragon, Mathis Fiendseeker, and Nazan Revered Bladesmith. That's all I got for you this week. Don't forget to join me next Monday for another episode of This Week in Magic Online Finance, and in the meantime, maybe just click that little button, see what else is playing on this channel. Could be something good, probably something good. Alright, see ya, take care.